In this video, I'm going to tell you what NFTs are and how they apply to Funko. So I found this great article from Ollie Leach over at coindesk.com. Link will be in the description below. Does a great job explaining what NFTs are. So you and I are going to go through it, and then right after that, I'll give my own analysis and hot takes about how this will apply in the world of Funko Pops. So here we go. Non-fungible tokens, or NFTs, are digital assets that represent a wide range of unique, tangible, and intangible items, from collectible sports cards to virtual real estate and even digital sneakers. One of the main benefits of owning a digital collectible versus a physical collectible like a Pokemon card, and listen up Funko Pop collectors, this is for you, is that each NFT contains distinguishable information that makes it both distinct from any other NFT and easily verifiable. This makes the creation and circulation of fake collectibles pointless because each item can be traced back to the original issuer. So for Funko Pops, obviously there's so many fake Pops out there, and hopefully the NFT game will crack down on that a little bit more, because if someone has an NFT of a Pop, which again we'll cover later in the video, they'll be able to tell if it's theirs. Unlike regular cryptocurrencies, NFTs cannot be directly exchanged with one another. This is because no two NFTs are identical, even those that exist on the same platform, game, or in the same collection. Think of them as festival tickets. Each ticket contains specific information, including the purchaser's name, the date of the event, and the venue. This data makes it impossible for festival tickets to be traded with one another. And if that example didn't make a whole lot of sense, here's my own that I just came up with recently. So all know the famous painter Claude Monet. And let's say you guys have the original art that Claude himself painted of a famous painting of his. I don't know all the names of his work, I just know he's pretty famous. So let's say you have the original. And of course, everyone can take pictures of the original, and they can obviously make fakes of the original. But the fakes aren't worth anything because they're not the original art. If anyone who collects art knows the difference between a fake and not a fake, even if it's really well done. And obviously, a fake version of an art, even if it looks exactly like the real thing, is just not worth the same. And it's the exact same thing with NFTs. If you just take a photo of someone's NFT on the internet, it's not worth the same as the person who actually owns the NFT, if that makes any sense. The vast majority of NFT tokens were... So we're going to skip that. That's not really too important. Other characteristics of NFTs include non-interlopable. A CryptoPunk cannot be used as a character on the CryptoKitties game, or vice versa. This goes for collectibles, listen up folks, such as trading cards too. A Blockchain Heroes card cannot be played in a Gods Unchained trading card game. Makes sense. Indivisible. NFTs cannot be divided into smaller denominations like Bitcoin Satoshis. Don't really know what that is, but okay. They exist exclusively as a whole item. Indestructible. Because all NFT data is stored on the blockchain via smart contracts, each token cannot be destroyed, removed, or replicated. Not to get all nerdy here, but it kind of reminds me of the law of conservation of matter, how matter cannot be created or destroyed, it just kind of changes form. It's the same sort of thing with NFTs. Like once it's out there, you can't remove it or destroy it. It can only be changed, if that makes any sense, or just stay the same. Ownership of these tokens is also immutable, which means gamers and collectors actually possess their NFTs, not the companies that create them. That's pretty important. This contrasts with buying things like music from the iTunes store, where users don't actually own what they're buying. They just purchase the license to listen to the music. Verifiable. Another benefit of storing historical ownership data on the blockchain is that items such as digital artwork can be traced back to the original creator, which allows pieces to be authenticated without the need for third-party verification. Why they're important. NFTs have become hugely popular with crypto users and the companies alike because of the way they revolutionizing the gaming and collectible spaces. Since November 17, there's been a total of $174 million spent on NFTs. Thanks to the advent of blockchain technology, gamers and collectors, listen up folks, again, can become the immutable owners of in-game items and other unique assets, as well as make money from them. In some cases, players have the ability to create and monetize structures like casinos and theme parks in virtual worlds, such as the Sandbox and Decentraland. They can also sell individual digital items they occur during gameplay, such as costumes, avatars, and in-game currency on a secondary market. So I'm kind of wondering, maybe if you have like a game like Minecraft, for example, if you have your own world and you build a part of a world, maybe you, as an NFT, you could sell that part of a world to someone, and then you get, like, obviously you get money from that, and they get a royalty if they give it to someone else, something like that. So maybe that's one way it could work if you, using the example of the game Minecraft. For artists, being able to sell artwork For artists, being able to sell artwork in a digital form directly to a global audience of buyers without using an auction house or gallery allows them to keep a significantly greater portion of the profits they make from sales, which does make sense if you're cutting out the middleman right there. And this is a pretty famous example. William Shatner, best known as Captain Kirk from Star Trek, ventured into digital collectibles in 2020 and issued 90,000 digital cards on the Wax blockchain, showcasing various images of himself. Each card was initially sold for approximately $1 and now provides Shatner with a passive royalty income every time one is resold. So it makes a lot of sense, actually. And I can see this model of NFTs being applied to Funko Pops, but again, more on that later. Why do they have value? So essentially, NFTs get their value from obviously their scarce nature and the high demand of them from gamers, collectors, and investors, which will only grow as the NFT space gets larger and larger and more people get into it, if that makes any sense. And there have been crazy sales of NFTs that have happened. The one they mentioned here is The Secrets of Satoshi's Tea Garden. It's from a 64 lot estate from the game Decentraland. It's sold for $80,000 because of the desirable location and road access. And I want to show you guys one here. They actually talk about this one a bit later. But here, this is from CryptoPunkspot. I'm not really sure if this is like a game or anything, but this is just an example of an NFT. So this photo here, I'm not kidding. This is just, again, this is what I'm talking about. This is just a photo of the actual NFT. It's not the actual NFT itself. So this itself is not worth a whole lot. But the original NFT of this pixelated image, guess what it sold for, everybody? Guess. $761,000. I'm not kidding, guys. This is a huge deal. And it is absolutely crazy how these NFTs are selling for such a high price. And then obviously the article ends with what the most expensive NFTs are. And that's one of them there. I just want to show that to you guys so you have an example of like what we're talking about here. So now, how will this apply to Funko? I have some notes on this I want to talk about. Looking at a separate article here, this is from, I believe it was GeekWire. Funko bought a majority stake in a company called TokenHead, which is a mobile app where people can buy or sell NFTs, sort of like Mercari, but for NFTs, if that makes any sense. And this app is extremely popular. It has over 10 million NFTs every day that go onto the platform, and also it has 100,000 visits from fans every day. And Funko will start with digital NFTs of Funko Pops this June in areas like TV, movies, sports, music, comics, video games, and more. And as I said, the first ones are in June, and they will cost $9.99 each, just like an actual Funko Pop does, at least the average price of a normal pop. And there will be a unique property each week. So for example, maybe one week they'll release like 5 office NFTs. And again, I'm not quite sure if that means that they're going to be releasing NFTs of pops that are already out. So for example, like the Jim Halpert pop, where they have the physical pop of Jim Halpert, and then they have a $10 Jim Halpert NFT that you could buy in the app. We don't quite know yet. Maybe that's one way they can do it. And maybe another way they could do it is almost using an NFT as a way to test the market. So, for example, if you have a pop that Funko is considering releasing, if that NFT of the pop, if they release the NFT before the actual release of the physical pop, if the NFT is really hyped and generates large sums of money on the secondary market, as in someone buys it and they're reselling it for a super high price, and then that person resells it, and et cetera, that could be a sign for Funko that the given character should be made into a physical figure because there's a lot of hype for it, and that would translate into actual sales in a store like Hot Topic, for example. And as the article talked about, NFTs can be an effective gauge on a market, which in this case would be Funko Pops. And furthermore, kind of building on that last point, it's very unclear if NFTs will be a virtual only thing where maybe they would make exclusive pops that are only NFTs. For example, maybe they require a new license. I mean, this is a very out there example, but for example, if they had the Nintendo license, I doubt they would only make virtual figures for that. But if they did, maybe they would only make Funko Nintendo NFTs, but they would never make actual pops. I don't know why they would do that because it's such a huge property, but that's one way they could do it. And then the other way I kind of just talked about. And obviously there's several ways that they could go about this. I already talked about a couple of them. That's just a few ways I see Funko actually entering the NFT space and doing well, whether it's just making NFT exclusive figurines, or NFT exclusive figures, or just kind of testing the market like I was just talking about. They could do either, they could do both, but it's my hope that this really does take off and they start picking up the releases. So obviously in this June, I'm probably gonna make a video on this. Maybe we'll actually try to buy a Funko NFT to see how that works out. But again, I hope this works out really well for Funko and this sounds great. Maybe they could even do several releases a week instead of just one across multiple fandoms. So for example, on Monday, they could drop some DC NFTs, and then on Thursday, they could drop some, I don't know, Friends NFTs, for example. But the possibilities are endless, and I cannot wait to see this. And that about does it for me. If you guys want to see another discussion video where we're talking about other Funko stuff, you can click the link at the top of the screen right here. Thank you all so much for watching, and have a great day. Bye.